1, 2, and 3. Hi, everybody. Hang out with me. And these are my mom anytime you want.
Hello, we are back, this time with what some might call the unofficial brother-in-law. Do you care to introduce yourself?
Well, I'm an official brother-in-law. We are officially married, but...
Well, you're not my brother-in-law.
I guess, yes, but I'm officially...
With your unofficial husband? That doesn't sound right.
I have no idea. I'm confused.
I recorded this week an entire hour-long episode, and I didn't have my mic on. So I went to edit it because I promised I would have these out Monday morning, and it was gone. So here we are after the Super Bowl, late, very late on a Sunday night, because then we couldn't figure out how to get two mics to work. I'm very grateful. Are you happy to be here?
Yeah, we're going to do a Super Bowl recap, right? That's what you said? This would be a sports-centric podcast?
That is what you know 99% of your knowledge is.
No, I have no idea what we're going to talk about, so it should be fun.
It's a surprise. It's a surprise for him. I'm honestly really grateful that he's doing this with me because I was freaking out a little bit when I realized that the podcast was totally gone for the week. The reason I recorded a solo episode is Abby was en route all of last week, packing up her house and moving here to Utah for the next little while, who knows, which I'm really excited about, but I gave her the week off. We talked about my birth story. I actually cried a lot, so are you glad that it was lost?
No, it would have been awesome.
I know, we'll still share, and I'll probably cry again. But today, I had decided it would be fun in February to record a relationship type episode. But since I was by myself and I've been married for what? How many years?
8.5.
Almost 9. That I probably wasn't the best person to do a relationship episode with, and that we needed to get my little sister Lizzie on, who's more in the dating scene. So then I pivoted to my heart story, since February is also Heart Month. But now here we are back talking about relationships instead with the best person I can imagine to talk about relationships with.
Let's dive in. Fire away.
Well, first we usually do some catching up. Is there anything from your week you want to catch up on, fill me in on? I mean, we do live under the same roof, so.
I played golf in February, and it was 59 degrees yesterday in Salt Lake City. So
The weather is what you decided to talk about?
no, I'm talking about golf in February in Salt Lake. That's pretty amazing. It was beautiful.
Fun fact about Andrew, as you're getting to know us, he dreamed of being a meteorologist when he was a kid, so we can't blame him too much for talking about the weather.
That's true. We'll find out now whether I'm good enough on camera and whether I could have made it as a meteorologist. Probably a little too late in my 30s to transition a career into being on TV, but
You could just join the podcast regularly. You could give us a weather update.
that will get so many listeners. They will love that.
In the spirit of catching up, I guess you already know what we did this weekend, but we officially completed the ballet. We've talked a lot about the ballet recently. The ballet is done. Nellie was adorable. What do you think about ballets? Are you wanting her to be a ballerina, or were you nodding off?
I wish you were on stage more.
You wish she was on stage more?
Yes. One dance in 2 hours is not enough.
Oh, I see.
Like, the older girls are on stage dancing more, but with Nellie only on stage for 1 minute, I could use a little more. So.
She was hilarious. And then we went to Davies senior night. So I did pretty good. Not too many tears.
I thought you should have walked out on the court with the family. I don't know why you weren't out there with the parents. You haven't missed a game in 4 years. So someone today at church asked me, "Oh, did you and Emily go to the game on Friday?" And I said, "Yes, Emily has not missed a game in 4 years." They were very impressed. Sister of the year, of the century.
Unofficial sister of the year.
So you're a great sister.
It really was a really fun game, actually. A buzzer beater, everything you can imagine. The best game possible for senior night. Afterwards, though, I'd have to say, if we have local listeners, we did get about a 10 p.m. round of Arctic Circle. And if you don't know what Arctic Circle is, we've been debating on what to compare it to. I would compare it to Wendy's, McDonald's.
No, it's more of a Culver's feel. Like old time dining.
Culver's, that's a good comparison.
Classic hamburgers, onion rings, corn dogs.
You really think those corn dogs, the mini corn dogs, are like high quality food though?
Absolutely. They're delicious. Now, like, do they taste good? Yes. Are they high quality in the sense of like nourishing your body? Probably not, but they are delicious.
It is home of the fry sauce. So a French fry with some fry sauce hit the spot. After the game, we let our toddler stay up till 11 p.m. and paid for it the next day. I guess since it is 10 p.m. on a Sunday night and you do have work in the morning, we should dive in. And as we're still getting to know our listeners and they're trying to get to know us, really shout out to like, how many listeners do you think we have? I haven't even dared look.
12? 10 of those are family, one friend, and you probably have one hater.
I thought it'd be fun to share how we met. From your perspective and my perspective, we haven't shared this story with each other or anywhere probably like this in a while.
When you edit this, will you put some self-tanner on me? Or color match. Makeup accentuates the difference in color. And yes, I am very pale, but...
Yeah, I have a different skin tone than you to begin with.
Slightly, but it's...
Have you seen Grandma Sharon?
Yeah, that's true.
And then I think we also be thinking, because after how we met, let's talk about how we got engaged. Because, fun fact, that's something we could catch up on. We both randomly realized
9 years ago this weekend
that we got engaged. So tell us the story. You start from the very beginning of how the first time you ever met me.
Emily was in my 7th grade art class. She was taller than me, probably. I think she was the tallest kid in the entire 7th grade. Can't remember what period of the day, but probably second or third.
It was the middle of the day. I remember my like little capstone project for that year. I drew a mouse.
And that was the only class we had together in 7th grade.
Do I dare ask you to describe my looks besides my height?
Big bushy hair, very wavy. I don't know if you ever really fixed it. It was just naturally curly. She wore the same blue Vans, and she was as tall as a beanpole. Probably, I think you're 5'6". You were 5'6" at that time.
I haven't grown since I was 12 years old, height-wise. But I think I had braces. Just to give you a visual, Andrew was the cool kid. He was hanging out with all the older girls. There were these girls at a different junior high, and he was in with the 8th graders. I had like one best friend. I hadn't even met my very best friend to this day yet. Kelly and I became friends in 8th grade, end of 8th grade. So 7th grade, I remember having a parent-teacher conference where the teacher in my homeroom class made a goal with me and my mom that I had to raise my hand once a day in any class, but I had to raise my hand once a day to ask a question as some sort of, I don't know, exposure therapy. But I did think he was cute, except for he was a little bit of a tease. I think you were teasing, and not in a way that you liked me. I think you were just teasing the nerdy girl.
Not true.
Then fast forward
18 years later, I can say that's not true.
18.
Yeah. 18 years ago.
Do you know what that means? That means that I've known you, and we'll fast forward to this, but we've been best friends for half my life. So that means you can no longer blame my parents for the way that I am, because you now have raised me for a longer period of time than my parents have.
I'm not raising you. You are a strong, independent woman. I am just along for the ride. There is no raising at all.
So then fast forward, I did come out of my shell a little bit in the 8th grade, and thanks to a school musical and making some really good friends. So then it was the beginning of 9th grade, which is still in junior high in Utah, at least at our school. And in the beginning of the school year, there was, we forgot a very important story from the 7th grade. So all this teasing in art class, I thought maybe he did have a crush. So at the winter dance, when I went and asked him to dance on a Girl's Choice song, and he straight up told me no. And I walked out of the gym crying, and I still remember the most darling girl that was in 9th grade. She was so popular, so beautiful, so kind. She saw me. She was in his neighborhood and asked if I was okay. And I think I told her what happened, and then I just walked out of the school and walked straight home. Cried the whole way home.
I was nervous. I didn't know how to respond. And I think I said, I can't because my mom is picking me up. Which that excuse totally fails when I don't leave the school. I should have at least been smart enough to leave the school at that point. So I apologize.
It's okay. He's forgiven, because then in 9th grade, towards the beginning of the year, they had a special day where they pulled us out of class and we got to do a service project all day. So they had catered lunch, and we would go to different stations and work on different service projects as a 9th grade class. Am I missing any details beforehand or before this? Did anything happen in the 8th grade?
You liked my best friend.
That's true. I started to come out of the awkward stage.
That is true. So I got to know you a little bit better at that point.
That is true. But we really started talking. We had been, I guess, the beginning of 9th grade, we started kind of talking like maybe saying hi in the halls because we were starting to have more similar friend groups because I actually had friends, I guess. And then on this day, we sat by each other and started talking. He got my number and we started texting after school that day. And I remember what I was wearing that day. I had skinny dark jeans on with a gray t-shirt, my favorite gray t-shirt. I think I still have that t-shirt to this day, a gray v-neck and my blue Vans. After that, I don't think we went a day without talking or texting until senior year.
I probably had basketball shorts down to my calves and a big baggy t-shirt on. So
that is how we met. And I remember when he would text me, I was just so impressed at the questions he would ask. We would play all sorts of question games and we would tell everyone. We never admitted that we liked each other. We would just tell everyone we were best friends.
I think you should have disclosed that your mother was reading all those texts. I feel a little betrayed all these years later, but
every single one.
My mother-in-law probably listens to this, so just know you could have told me.
She was very enamored by you as well. He was very sweet and she was very impressed. We all fell in love with you, actually, my whole family. He really became my very best friend. I mean, of course I liked him, but I would say our relationship for sure, without a doubt, started on a little bit of infatuation, but a deep friendship. And the summer after 9th grade, he was at our...
Can we pause and tell the story of the first time we ever hung out as friends?
That's a great idea.
You can tell it.
No, we need to hear you more. They hear me enough.
So my best friend, a year older, already had his driver's license. And the first time I hung out with Emily, we picked her up. I walked to her door. My best friend and I walked to her door, picked her up, and your parents somehow let you go.
The first time I'd ever gone with boys.
And we had a very powerful green laser pointer. And as we were driving around, we saw a couple parked clearly on a date. And we thought it would be funny if we shined a light on their car while they were on this date. And they started driving. We decided to follow them and keep the laser pointer on them. And only a few minutes went by before 4 cop cars showed up. Lights on, pulled us over, came up to the vehicle with their guns drawn, saying, hey, come out of the vehicle. And so they called all of our parents. They had to come pick us up. And I had to call Emily's parents and apologize. And that's the first time we ever hung out.
I can't believe I didn't mention that because I still remember exactly how I felt. There were tears. It was awful. I was so sick to my stomach. We started hanging out with friends from other junior highs, which actually became our really close friend group all through high school. Friends that he had from sports growing up. And then that summer before high school, you would come over and we would make mac and cheese. And I decided I was going to try out for the high school tennis team without playing tennis since I was like 6. So he would help me hit balls at the park all day, and my family fell in love with him. My little brother at this point if I was 15, he was 3. So he was Nellie's age, and you were so good to him. And then you got your driver's license. We went to high school. Do I dare tell? This kind of was going to throw me under the bus.
Please.
So he drove me to school for the first little while. We lived close, obviously. And I didn't want a boyfriend all through high school. That didn't feel wise.
No, I'll fill this in. She did not want the appearance to the senior boys of showing up with someone else because that would limit her options and potential availability out on the open market with senior guys. So I got kicked to the curb and I had to just drive alone to school. And she made her mom drive her and pick her up.
It is true. A few weeks in, a couple months in, I realized, well, if I'm telling everyone that we're not boyfriend and girlfriend, but he's driving me to school every day, that's not going to help. So I do look back though and think we did it in a wise way. Would you agree or disagree?
No, I would agree.
We kind of tortured each other at points. It felt a little bit like torture sometimes, but I'm grateful for parents who encouraged us to stay friends, but also not just be like boyfriend, girlfriend. Finally, we had our first kiss. So this whole time we hadn't kissed. We had our first kiss the summer after sophomore year, I believe. You took me to sophomore prom, the only dance we actually went to together, and the rest is history. I don't know. What else do you want to add about our love story without getting too into the drama of luring in our former high school peers?
No, that sums it up pretty well.
And one of my favorite parts through this all is, even though we were dating other people, we remained best friends, and we had a really close group of friends that we still talk to this day. Just a lot of fun memories. And he left on a mission for our church and lived in Ecuador for 2 years. And we wrote letters. Like, I have a stack of physical letters, which is incredible to think about. Where are they?
They're in a box in storage.
They're pretty precious, and I'm really grateful we have that. But while he was gone, I dated a lot in college. Don't out me here. But I did date a lot, and I'm glad I did. I would give that advice to any young listeners.
I'm so glad she did too. No. Seriously, all is well that ends well, and it ended well. Although I won't say you tried very hard to get married, but some folks tried very hard to marry you.
Yeah, that's probably true. And there was just...
I made an obscene gesture to all of those folks that tried. I'm teasing.
In my defense, I did have a couple of boyfriends, and I always said, I don't know what's going to happen with you or with him, but I can't make a decision about anything until he is home. And I stood by that, and I just knew I had to give Andrew... Did we ever say your name or formally introduce yourself?
I think the people listening probably know.
We're going back. You're really rubbing in the 12 listeners, aren't you?
Well, no, unless someone just happened to find your podcast, they probably know who you are.
True. Anyway, what I was saying, I knew I needed to give Andrew a chance because we had never dated seriously. I mean, we were serious and we said some probably pretty crazy things when we were 15, but we hadn't dated as adults. Fair?
Correct. Although, to be fair, you were 19, so I don't know,
That's still kind of a child, but... So anyway, he got home from his mission. There's a viral video. I went to the airport, and because we really...
viral?
Yeah.
Viral?
Like, I've posted it twice, and both of them have over 500,000 views.
Oh, wow.
Elder Nagley is all over the internet.
Nice.
But I was really close with his family. He was really close with mine. At this point, it felt more like family friends in some ways. So we all went to the airport to welcome him home. And from that point on, there was never even really a conversation. We just began dating and never looked back.
I did write you a letter every week for 2 years telling you I wanted to date, so I think it was kind of implied that we were dating.
True. So...
And it's probably a good thing. You were not as open as I probably had wished you were at the time about your dating scene.
Yeah, we just avoided that topic altogether, but probably for the best.
Well, you avoided that. There wasn't no we avoided that. It was you avoided that, but it probably was better that I didn't know.
Yes. But then once he got home...
One of them looked like the...
No. No, I'm serious.
He doesn't listen to this.
You never know.
Don't cut out all of that.
But once he got home, it was really full steam ahead. We got married a year after.
We got engaged 7 months after.
He got home in the summer of 2016. We got engaged February of 2017.
I was 20. You were 19.
Wrong. I was 20. You were 20.
I was 21.
Correct.
Very mature.
It sounds crazy.
Very wise and mature.
It feels really normal, kind of. Maybe not even normal in our culture anymore. That's still really young for Utah culture, but more normal than other parts of the country. But now saying it out loud, it does seem a little bit crazy. What would you do if Nellie came to you at 20 saying she was going to get married?
Depends on the guy.
That's true. And I think that's why my family felt so comfortable. Another story about when you asked my dad if you could marry me, he basically didn't even make you ask the question. You guys were at breakfast and he basically said, well, we both know why we're here, so you're good. Is that true? Did he really let you off that easy?
Yes.
They just loved him from the start, so there was no worries on their end. Do we have time to tell the proposal story? I think so. Are you up for it?
Will you bring me back? I don't want this to be the only time.
You like the podcast. You like...
Yeah, bring me back for all 12 listeners. Maybe it makes someone laugh.
I really like podcasting with you. I mean, how do you fit into the unofficial sister of it all? I'm not sure, but... That's why I call
official husband.
The unofficial husband, or
I'm an official husband.
The official husband of the unofficial sister. Again, you're confused again. We've been over this. I think we should have an episode with you and Abby. That could be good too. Because Abby needs to tell the story of the first time she met you. Those first few weeks. She has a good one. But back to getting engaged. We had gone ring shopping and I knew I wanted to marry you. I was going on a girls trip my first time to New York City with my mother-in-law and my sister-in-laws. So fun. We were having a fabulous time. I fell in love with New York City. I always dreamed of living there. And on the contrary, I've never left Utah or lived outside of Utah.
That's not true. You lived in the Philippines for 3 months.
Oh yeah, almost 4 months. But I always wanted to live in a big city. I thought maybe we'd have little kids there. I love New York City and I fell I thought I was going to love it. And even being there for 24 hours, I fell in love with it. We went to a Broadway show and we were walking home trying to look for a treat. It's really late, trying to find somewhere that's open. And I'm just along for the ride. He's the baby of the family. So I'm the baby sister-in-law. I had my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law who knew a lot about New York City. So I was just along for the ride. I was just following along, wandering the streets, thinking we were trying to find a treat. And we came around a corner and there was the New York City Library, public library. And I saw this woman getting out of a taxi. I can't remember what street that is on, maybe like 52nd Street. But I saw a woman getting out of a taxi. There's like a classic New York signpost behind her. And I see this man with a bouquet of roses on the steps of the library. And so I immediately think that the two are connected. So I turn to my other sister-in-law and I'm like, oh my goodness, look at that girl. And before I say that guy, we're walking closer and I'm like, my goodness, what? No. And I'm realizing it's Andrew. This still is to this day the most romantic, grand gesture he has ever done and the most surprised I've ever been in my life. And he was there in New York City with a bouquet of roses and we got engaged. And he joined us for the rest of the girls' weekend and had the best time. It's one of my favorite memories to this day. But I don't even think my parents knew we were doing that. Now I want to hear from your side of the story because were you nervous?
No, I did not tell your parents because I don't trust your mother to keep a secret. Hello, Rachel. That'll be a good test if they're listening, if they made it this far.
We usually give her an emoji. So Mom, send the diamond ring the diamond ring in the group chat.
No, I think with my mom, I said, hey, what if I joined you and proposed there, and my mom was all on board. I'd lie like everyone does. I lied about when the ring would be available. I don't know why women keep falling for that. It is the easiest lie, and everyone I ever known that's gotten engaged lies about when it's going to arrive. It's the dumbest lie ever, but it works. And maybe women just won't believe what they want to hear at that point. Hopped on a JetBlue flight, I think, and took the subway into the city, and I think I was only there probably 20, 25 minutes before you guys showed up. So I think I was communicating with my mom and sister, and I think they were kind of delaying, where you guys were trying to go. So
were you nervous?
No, not at all. I didn't think you were going to say no.
That is true.
When you're marrying up, there's really no reason to be nervous.
That's really sweet. Why did you want to marry me?
Wow. How much time do we have on the pod? No, Emily is everything good, and she is incredibly kind, compassionate, loving. She is extremely selfless. And she's extremely fun. So, I think it was a seamless friendship to love and something that I wanted forever.
I didn't expect to cry. I'm not going to cry, but I feel like it's coming. And then we got married the summer, July of 2017, and the rest is history. By the time we had gotten married, we had been best friends, liked each other. I had a crush on you for 6 years at least. So now we're 9 years into marriage and we've known each other for a long time. I always joke that we were already out of the honeymoon phase our first year of marriage, but in the best way, I feel. I also tease him that I can read his mind, and it kind of drives you crazy because I kind of can.
Well, I'm kind of a simple man.
No, you are complicated.
No, I like golf, like sports, love trivia and odd facts.
Trivia?
You know how much I love trivia.
Yeah, I do know how much you love trivia, but I didn't expect that to come out of your mouth.
I know, but there's no one, I would put my sports trivia knowledge up against anyone. So that's why I said it.
I did marry a sports center kid, if you can call it that.
That is true. And weather. I like the weather.
Well,
I'm learning. I don't think I would have made a very good meteorologist.
I think you're doing great. You're a natural. That gives you a little bit of insight into how we met, and then maybe we'll bring you back for a relationship Q&A. Do you think you could handle that?
Like giving people good advice? I could probably tell you what not to do. I think I've learned that.
We usually end the podcast with a question from a listener. I thought it would be fun that some weeks we just answer a question that's on our minds, maybe debate the topic, try and figure it out together. A question I personally have had, it's caused me a lot of distress actually, is how do you as a couple agree on the same show to watch at night or movie? So let's hear your solution. I mean, we're bad people to be. I shouldn't be asking you if it's my question because clearly we have an issue.
Listen, Emily loves romantic comedies, and I can only handle so many romantic comedies before I want to watch Lord of the Rings.
You love them too.
Yes, but I like a little variety.
Lord of the Rings, you can't say that that's...
It won a lot of Oscars. It is notably an incredible film. It's worth a watch. I've been pushing to watch Lord of the Rings for a while now, and no luck. Not yet. So someone in the comments say Lord of the Rings is awesome, and Emily will like it. That'd be awesome.
It's not that I don't think it's awesome. I can't sit through. It's just not my thing.
Well, and something else about Emily, she's a busy bee, for lack of a better term. She is not one to sit down and just watch a show. For example, the listeners will know she's running social media accounts. She's started a podcast. So she's always doing something. So like sitting down and just watching a movie for 2 hours is not easy. But a romantic comedy allows her to work and brainstorm and be creative while she watches. So I think that's probably why. Whereas Lord of the Rings, you can't sit and do that per se.
That's partially true. But I also, if I had to just sit down and watch with no distractions, I would still prefer.
Well, the next thing we could debate is movie theater or movie at home. Because I am a strong movie at home.
I love going to the theater. Besides my anxiety about an active shooter, I love going to the theater.
No, the person that pulls out their phone in front of me or that eats their popcorn really loud.
Who cares? You're out living life. You're making memories.
No, I'm there to enjoy the movie. And
it's loud and you can't do any distractions. Maybe that's why I like it, is because I actually watch the movie.
Yeah, I would way rather just wait until the movie comes out and watch it at home.
I wouldn't say I want to go to the movies every weekend, but every once in a while, it's a fun thing to do with a root beer and some Milk Duds. Try this. Milk Duds and hot tamales. You eat about 2 hot tamales to every 1 Milk Dud. It's like a chocolate-covered cinnamon bear with the sweetness of the caramel. Plus movie theater popcorn. I do eat popcorn every single night, so.
Why can't movie theaters have kettle corn? Kettle corn is objectively better than popcorn.
No, salty over sweet for me.
Well, they have salty kettle corn.
No, the whole point of kettle corn is it's like popcorn with sugar on the outside.
No, I think they make a salty kettle corn.
But it's still sweet. What is salty kettle
I
corn?
don't know, but it exists. I've had it.
We're getting a little bit delirious. I will say let's roll off some shows we actually do like to watch together, because if people could have a list of shows that both them and their spouse agree on, because here's the other thing with me. I'm very sensitive to the media I consume. So if there's any blood, death, even sadness lately, I really don't like. I can't even watch Grey's Anatomy. That's how big of a wimp I am.
I tell Emily the point of the show is to make you feel an emotion. That is the point of consuming media, is to feel an emotion.
As long as that emotion is not fear and anxiety, then sure.
No, that's part of experience. Like that's part of what makes a great show is that fear and anxiety that then resolves itself, and it's kind of the point of media.
Okay, well, some shows that we do agree upon. We loved Nobody Wants This. We watched that when we were dating and engaged and newly married.
I think Emily looks like Kristen Bell.
That's not. Oh, not Nobody Wants This. This Is Us.
We have watched both of them.
We've watched both of them, but This Is Us is the one that we watched when we were newly married and engaged. We have watched Nobody Wants This and liked that one. The classics. We love The Office, Seinfeld.
I love Seinfeld 10 times as much as you do.
Yes, but I will tolerate that one.
Tolerate is not a love. I can name every Seinfeld episode, and every single day I point something out from our life that is like a Seinfeld episode. Like the other night, Emily had the red light therapy going with an eye mask to fall asleep, and it looks like the Kenny Rogers Chicken episode where Kramer lives across the street from the giant neon red sign, and he at first hates it, and then he eats the chicken and loves it, and his whole apartment's red.
You did want to have a Seinfeld Christmas party. So
No, it's called a Festivus party.
Sorry, that was not politically correct by calling it Christmas.
Thank you.
The Office, though. We love The Office. We love Friends.
Parks and Rec. Did you say that one?
Parks and Rec.
Gilmore Girls.
You won't watch Gilmore Girls. That's true. He will not watch Gilmore Girls. I don't blame you. That's not really a husband show, but Suits was a good one. We'll keep thinking, and maybe I can post a list of shows to watch with your spouse that you both will agree on, so you never have to fight about it again. But thank you again for coming on. I think you're going to be a hit. We're going to have to come up with a name for your corner. You'll have to be a regular co-host, a regular guest maybe. Andrew's
The Weather Hour with Meteorologist Andrew.
Okay, well,
Bye, everyone. That was fun.
bye everyone.
Wrap it up.
I think we'll just leave it at this. Usually I tell Abby, love you, bye.
Can I get a love you bye?
Love you, bye.